Welcome to StockMarketFunding.com. Today's date, 9/1/2012, September. We're gathered here this morning because we invited some people to attend a free 5-day trial, and they did. And one of the things that they learned, and they can put it in their words, is that we have high frequency trading programs. The difference between the traditional buy and sell day trading model versus the high frequency. And you can go right here and click on the tab. It'll take you there. So, Owen, you participated in your 5-day free trial starting on a Monday and it closed yesterday on a Friday, correct?
Yep, yep. It started on a Monday, and basically what I found really interesting was just the MMT platform. It really opened my eyes because at the moment there's not really many platforms that you can see and have the same clarity to it. So I was really impressed with that. That was one of the things that I really thought was a good deal.
Okay, so let me ask you a key specific question. When you were being pointed out how the directional price movement would work based on a certain value and a certain kind of equation, were they accurate? And was the system mathematically coded like here in this box when you were going through your free 5-day trial? You were using this data set in here as to when stocks would go in one direction and go in the other direction and directional price movement, and how the ratios worked and how these gauges applied and how this had no lag effect to price versus the other tools that the public uses and you have used lag these prices. Can you explain a little bit about that participation level?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, I'll bring it back to when Google was on the bull run, and you can see here on the IOR that it was up really high. It was probably around 95, 96,
Mm-hmm.
and Google just kept pushing up higher during the week.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, you called this, and you said this is a market top, and then call this, and then Thursday we started to see weakness and the IOR dropping, and I've never seen technical analysis like this before, but it was very easy to understand because it was live, it was before the fact, and it was very impressive. Like it's nothing that I've ever seen before, but I didn't think I'd be able to learn so much from this, but I really did. I feel like I've been taken to the next level, definitely.
Correct. So when you take a look and what you have learned is about the exchange model, high frequency model, you learned about electronic buy and sell scripts this week. That's in the bid and the ask ranges as far as equity prices go and option prices. When you were witnessing the wholesale entries on these options based on the directional movement in the SMF market maker platform, were we how accurate were pinpointing the lower prices? Where the public buys the higher prices on the calls, they don't get them down here at 205 like we did. And same side on the put side, when getting down there at the lower end and trading that ranges and getting out, knowing when to sell. Did you witness that each one of the movements that happened here with the MMT Market Maker platform, that when we were making our exits, we were making those exits at the highs of the prints and the lows of the prints based on what the mathematical equations were saying to do as far as
Yeah,
getting the entries?
absolutely. I saw you stalking that 690 put on Google, and I saw you get in there wholesale, and everybody's in the trade, and like I'm watching here. I'm part of the free trial. I'm not even in the trade, but I feel like I'm in the trade with you guys. And then of course time comes around and you get out, and you got out with a profit. It was very impressive. Like I know you do this all the time, but it was just it's really good to see when you're stalking out these options, and then it kind of draws my eye in closer, and it makes me look at the charts differently as well. So I definitely learned a lot. Yeah.
Yes, so you learned what we have on the call side, that the calls have a range. That's when the stock is breaking higher. And the put side, when the stock comes down, we were using this very same application right here when we were at the top right here. That's when this put in $2.40 on the lows. And then you had the big reversal. And then the high was 960 on the contract. So they were, look at the range, $7.20. So basically, when using this and applying what it says down here, we are able to pinpoint the wholesale entry on the put side and the wholesale entry on the call side, and what the equity is doing in the bid and ask ranges here in the level two. But we rely on what? We can only rely on what the platform tells us to do, such as the bid and ask ratio, such as the when you were watching the trend ratio when it was at 0 1, and if it went toward 90, the stocks would break out like that and you'd follow along. Is that correct? So you were able to pinpoint this in here relative to when that breakout was happening there
Yeah,
and
absolutely. I think
the
basically
breakdown.
what the platform does is takes the emotion out of it. Because I know if I wasn't looking at this platform, I'd probably be emotionally engaged with this stock, and I probably would have got every call wrong.
Right.
So I think it's very good when you get to see all this data analysis and the strength of the stock itself,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it basically it changes your thinking on the stocks definitely, and I think being able to block your emotions through this
Mm-hmm.
and just focusing on the data, that's really key.
That is key. So when you were focusing on the data and you were being taught about the half bar and you were being taught that when the ratio value descends in value, you're short, and when it stops going down and the ratio values change and the diamonds pop, because it's a high frequency trading model that the machines use, and these track those movements in teeny values like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teenies up, and you had 8 teenies down. That's 16 teenies. But when you were learning, you got that value of the trade. You got the long side, the short side, the long side, and the short side value. And that also multiplies in your earnings as a market maker, is what you learned. Is that true or false?
Yeah, absolutely. And even just being in the room with you guys and just listening to all the trades being called out, like I can see, one guy is setting up a position here, and then another guy is setting up a position here, and you know, as the calls go up, someone's got in on this. It's really good to see everything being called out before the fact and basically based on that data. It's really impressive. Yeah, I
Right.
can't say enough about it, to be honest.
I
It's
know.
kind of mind blowing.
Well, what it is it's really extremely hard. You've been down lots of other free 5 day trials. Why don't you talk about those compared to what the SMF was, and how many months have you been watching our videos live? But let's talk about the free 5 day trials or other trials that you've been down versus the SMF. So that what would you tell people that would be listening to this video one day? What would you tell them not to do?
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. I've been down a good lot of other trials, and the thing that I think other people need to know is that if there's any sort of videos, or if they're talking about the markets, if they pull up a 6 month chart and they go, hey, look at this, you should have shorted here and you should have got in here. Anybody can do this. Anybody can sound like a pro when they have a chart and they're backdating. But what actually really counts is before the fact, right now.
Right.
Can you make the calls? Can you make the right calls? And it's certainly in here, but before that, you know, you would sign up to these videos and to other rooms and stuff, and it's just not the same. It's like, hey, check out my 10 stock picks, and how are you supposed to make sense of this? And I have to say the difference between other basically free trials and this one is completely night and day. I think if you have money and you're serious about getting involved, the SMF is the only way to go. From what I've seen, because I've spent maybe the last year studying the stock market, and that brings you around a big journey. You don't really know what you're looking for. You're trying to piece all the picture together, and when I came here, the pieces came together. I saw the picture. I saw, oh, okay, this is exactly what it's about. And even before this, what drew me to you was on YouTube just 6 months ago. I started finding your videos. I'm like, oh, okay, this guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about. And anyway, you've called a few market tops and market lows, and I actually even used binary options to get in on that. And so thank you for making some money on those. But I really think that if you're serious about getting involved, you have to go to stockmarketfunding.com. These, because Mario, you've been in the game for 30 years now. We're learning from you. You know, we don't get to make we you can show us how to basically dodge the mistakes, these costly mistakes that could basically put you out of the game. So I think it's great when you get to learn with someone of caliber like yourselves, and it will bring you to the next level. Like I already feel like I can hold my own now. Well, definitely not even close, but I feel like I'm so much more prepared. I know that how to look at charts in a different way, and just being in the rooms and listening to the calls and the trades, it's what it's about. Definitely,
Yeah,
I truly
so
do.
what you found out in experience was a very high level degree of team orientated people working together with factual data points that were validated and verified. There was no speculation, there was no big opinion, there was no what if, or it was factual. And when you see that team of people working with factual data that's in the system that we have in the market maker platform on an intraday level, which is the negative ratios and positive price points, those price points are very accurate and calculated before the market even opens. True or false?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you've called it gap down as well when we were there,
Right.
and came out like that as well. So, I really like. I can't say enough about it.
Well, yeah,
I
sure.
think,
But just by having something that is like a GPS to you, that is accurate, not deceptive, it gives you the confidence that one and most all lack. Because of the amount of frequency that happens in price scripts that way, and price scripts, these are all machine generated in the high frequency model, in the exchange model. You've learned a big difference between the exchange model, the high frequency model, versus all those other free trial models that you went down. And go ahead.
yeah, absolutely. Like, and as we were watching that Google high frequency bull run, you were calling this as well. The markets are going to turn over.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, oh, it might hit 700, but no, you called it perfectly. And then the markets roll over,
Right,
and you get in on that. You get your guys in on that. I'm like, I just can't say enough.
right,
It's what it's about.
exactly.
If you're looking to play and you're looking to just test it out, go somewhere else. But if you're serious and you want to get ahead on this game, this is the place to go, because again, you're working with guys like you, and I just think that experience is just very, very valuable. Definitely.
It is, and it's been one that a lot of people seek and look for, including yourself. And it's really a breath of fresh air that you have found a place that you can be safe and comfortable, and knowing that you can validate what's going on, not being sold a wolf story. You know which way the directional movements are going to go with. You know you're learning mathematical formulas in 5 days. It doesn't lie. It's all pinpointed. I'm grateful that you attended and you didn't have to pay to be here. One of the things that we do for people is that one of the things that we do is we do provide everyone with capital because it takes money to make money. And when you're using our money and you're in our yearly apprenticeship program, because that's where you're going to go, right, Owen? So,
Yeah, absolutely.
do
Yeah,
you like
this is what I
the
want.
yes, do you like the idea that we're willing to put money up behind you?
Yeah, and yeah, definitely, like, and it is a responsibility, but it's not one that's taken lightly. This is obviously I've had a lot of thought about this. This is something that I got involved a year ago, and I've been trying to make sense of it ever since. And then finally, I meet you guys,
Right.
and here we go. The path is ready to go.
It
So,
is.
um, yeah, definitely. I understand that you guys give us capital, and then we get to trade off that, but. only if you're serious and only if you're determined to do this, I think it is when you should take the steps to go forward.
That's exactly true. And it's been a wonderful 9/1/2012. And the reason why we wanted on our new website is that when we have people that we invite for a free 5-day trial live in the market hours, is we select you once you sign up. We invite you so that you can see before you make any decisions moving forward. The problem is people aren't given that anymore. They pay before they go. They don't know what they're going to get. And so, what I am going to say to Owen, we're glad to have you here and have many years forward looking working with you, sir.
Thanks, Mario. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with you guys as well. So I'm looking forward to the long haul now.
Okay.